Wow, it's a great day to be a Griffin right now. Earlier today, most of you know, the Board of Governors had a resolution of intent to vote whether Missouri Western could proceed with bonding of Spratt Stadium. That was a unanimous vote at 10 o'clock this morning, and now we're at where we're at. We're going to announce the new stadium of Spratt. But before I do that, I want to talk about the old Spratt, or not really the old Spratt, what will be the new Spratt. In 1979, our first football game was played in Spratt Stadium. In 2006, our soccer team graced the field for the first time. There's been many victories, many championships, playoff victories, high school football games, band festivals, and graduation have also been on Spratt Stadium. And we're very proud of that past and look forward to the future. I want to thank the Board of Governors and Dr. Vartabedian for allowing this to happen. It's been a long time coming. I think people, like Brett said, have talked about this since 2005, and now we're going to be able to do this here pretty soon. What does it include? It includes a lot of things, and what I'm most proud of, it includes a new experience for everybody that walks through the door of Spratt Stadium. Every seating option in the stadium on the home side will be replaced, including new chair backs, including new bleachers. We're going to clean up a lot of that, what is the main grandstand proper. Secondly, the concourse will totally be redone. It'll include better restrooms, concessions for everybody. It'll be an open stadium on the top that everybody can enjoy the game or whatever is going on in the stadium at the time. Obviously, clubs and suites are kind of what college football and soccer stadiums are going to. It's a revenue producer, there's no doubt. Revenue is key to what we're trying to do in 4 athletic departments. So the suites and the clubs will be very important for what we're trying to accomplish. The press level, we've known for a long time we need to redo something there. We've led the conference in TV games over the last 5 years, and we've hosted more of those than anybody else. So we need to do something to accommodate when we have a TV game, to accommodate our radio and our print media. And I think that will be a very important aspect for their experience when they come into our stadium. What I'm probably most excited about is the movement of turf and adding and replacing the turf. We're going to take the visitor side and replace the turf and move that closer to the home stands, which will give everybody in the stands a better experience. It'll feel like you're right on top of what's going on the field. Secondly, there's no doubt, I think Missouri Western in Division II has been some of the best video producing in what we do with social media, and Ryan Minley and Brett Easley, a big part of that. And this video board that we will have will expand on that, and it'll give another great experience. I hope our coaches don't point at the board when there's a bad call, because that drives me nuts, but I know that'll probably happen, you know, those replays and they pointing at the board. Those officials won't change the call, but it'll definitely be there for us to reinforce what we already know, that we're always right. It's a great time, and again, I can't thank the Board of Governors enough. It'll be a building that will cost us above $7.5 million. It includes, it includes donors that we've already have commitments from, and we're going to continue to actively propose and try to solicit gifts. Because our goal at the end of 5 years, starting now, at the end of 5 years, is to pay this bond off as much as we can with private solicitations and private gifts. So we thank those donors that have already given, and we hope that donors that haven't will see this vision and continue, and will want to give for this project and other projects that we have online for the university. Again, the reason we can do this in Spratt Stadium is it's an auxiliary building. Auxiliary buildings on this campus include the residence halls. It includes this building that you're sitting in today, and that they can produce their own revenue and pay down a debt service if there is one. And I think that's really important. Like I said, I'm excited. I think every fan or every person that comes into the stadium, no matter what event, will have a great experience. And that's what this is all about. With that, I'm going to take questions. Other people after I take the questions will be available. We've got Coach Partridge back here. We've got a couple of our women's soccer players, I believe. Where are they? Right in here. Coach Tidings here for women's soccer. We've got 2 football players. There's multiples, but I think Skylar is here. Windmiller. Is Michael here? Michael is right down there. We've also got Jerry Pickman, who is obviously with our foundation and advancement, who has helped generate the funds that we have currently. Dr. Fessler is here, who's worked with the Bond Council and with our Board of Governors. He's happy to take questions. And then Jeff Ellison is here, who is with Ellison Oxshire, who is the architect that has drawn these drawings. Let me tell you, Jeff has drawn so many drawings, I think he might be the most happiest person in the room because he finally gets to see one of them go through. Okay? So I appreciate all his work because I've worn him out, and I know athletic directors before me have worn him out. So I appreciate his work and everybody else's work that made this happen. So I will open it up to any questions.
When you came on board, this was obviously something you want to get done in a hurry. Talk about the process. Was it more difficult than what you thought, and how did you finally end up with this getting done?
Well, I think, obviously, when you look at college athletics especially, most of the time you build a revenue-producing building first, okay? In this case, we were able to build this building, which has helped our student athletes day to day. Okay, and this is one of the most wonderful buildings in Division II and probably in college athletics. But normally, you build a revenue-producing building first to help pay for the other buildings that you're trying to accomplish. The stadium, though, it has taken a while. I mean, there's been so many drawings, Dave, it's been ridiculous until we've settled on one. But in the end, it really was a collaborative effort with University Advancement, Dr. Vardabedian, who I can't thank enough, Kale, who came in and worked with saying that we can bond this building and make it auxiliary and making it go. But in the end, I wouldn't say it's taken longer than I wanted. Yeah, I'd love to have it the first year, but it takes money, and all of our buildings take money. And we've had some great commitments so far. We're not done raising money. We have to continue to raise for the building, and like I said, our goal is to get it paid off in 5 years. But it's taken a lot of people's efforts to make this go, and I think it was finally just all the pieces clicked in the last 6 months to really make it happen.
Can you expand a little bit on suites and the press area and just everything on the inside a little bit?
Yeah, we're at this point we're planning 14 suites. And I would say that we've got 9 of those committed through already commitments that we've said. I've talked about the donors that have already given to the project. And the other ones have been verbal commitments, and we'll get those on paper. We were waiting for the final approval to really sign those people to the dotted line to commit on suites. And then I feel like we'll get the rest based on conversations. So 14 suites. The club will be the exact same amount of seating, but it'll be bigger than we have currently. We're going to go to more of a reserve seating type atmosphere in our stadium. Right now we've kind of been first come, first serve everywhere, and we'll have more of a reserve seating type atmosphere, and that goes back to the raising of the money and everything. The other thing that I think is a big piece of the building will be what we're going to call a Hall of Fame room, which we've never had here. We've got some trophies over in Looney, we've got some trophies here, we've got trophies everywhere, but we've never had a true place to really tell our history with who's in the Hall of Fame, those faces of people that are in the Hall of Fame like Bob Orff, So we're going to have that, and I think that's a big piece of it, that's a building, that's a place that we can have 200 people sit down, have an event there, and really capitalize on that piece of it. Well, if you ask Jeff Ellison, that might be a great question for Jeff Ellison, because my timeline's different than his timeline. It's going to be really go now that we've got this approval, and Jeff knows it, and obviously Jeff has done some pre-work anticipating this. But Jeff I think Jeff, and correct me if I'm wrong, right now we have to get the finalized approval later. The board will ratify this phone poll at the December meeting, Kim, at the December meeting. January, I think Jeff's goal is to go out to bid, and then February, mid-February, we will renovate. Destroy. No, renovate. No, but I think the big thing about it is Spratt Stadium has been great. And there's a lot of people that were involved with the building of that way back when, and has served the test of time. But as the university's grown, as we've grown, as an athletic department, everything, it's time. And we'll have a dedication ceremony, or I guess you can say renovation ceremony, and or say a farewell ceremony to the old building as well. Now, will it be done before September, what is the date, Brett? September 12th. I know Coach Partridge would want me to say yes, but I'm probably going to say no, and I hope very quick after that. But we have some contingency plans for that first home game in case the side's not done. We hope to move the field and have that all done and some of the seating done, but we're going to have to probably have a makeshift game on that first game. Yes, we're taking the track out.
Was there any thought process just to move it closer to the existing field and not replace that and move the stands in from the other side? Was that more expensive, or how did you look at the money?
Well, the moving of the field in our estimates, since we already have turf, there will be some drainage stuff and everything. The moving of the field and the visitor side and basically squaring off the field, it was probably the easiest way to move that visitor side because those are portable anyway, and there's already enough there. We couldn't move the home stands, obviously. That would be too expensive. But I think that is a big piece of what we're doing. I don't think I would have done this if we weren't going to be able to move that field. You know, I know we'll have to take the track out, and that some people do still use that cement track, but that's going to be a big piece of that whole experience, I think. And the moving a field, and I say it's all expensive, but it really isn't expensive as I thought it would be, as compared to what the stadium and maybe the video board. You know, it's even a little bit cheaper than that. It's probably one of the cheaper pieces of what we're doing, you know, with the whole renovation.
Obviously, if somebody had come in with $7.5 million, you might have renamed the stadium. Was there any thought process of this not being Spratt Stadium?
No, it will always be Spratt Stadium, okay? And I think if someone would come in with $7.5 million, with the whole complex, the GISC and the stadium being going to end up being very, very close to the GISC and having a whole complex, I think that's where we would come in with some naming rights. The stadium will always be Spratt Stadium. That's documented.
What was the biggest challenge, besides just raising money? What was the biggest challenge in trying to get this thing done?
You know, it's been great. I mean, Dr. Fessler's been wonderful with the bonding aspect of it, and Dr. Vardy Bean's all aboard. I think it was the idea of what do we need for us? You know, I mean, some people say, oh, it's not big enough or it's too small. You know, you can get into that as we get going, but it's what we need for us and timing. You know, I think, you know, it's something we're coming up on 100 years of Missouri Western, and we have a lot of things on the table that we know we need to get done. I mean, we know we're going to continue to raise money for a lot of facilities, but I think it was timing, and you know, really it's a need. It's a need of this stadium, and like I go back to the revenue piece. There's a revenue piece there. I mean, I go to look at athletics budgets, and you know, we have a lot of what we kind of call mandatory costs because we have to go to a certain amount of games and we have to play in this league, and I think we have to find a way to generate revenue, and we're probably never going to find a way to generate enough revenue except for the stadium at this point with suites and clubs and other amenities. And I think that was probably the biggest challenge is coming together with all of that to make it happen.
We'll probably find out here in a few weeks or a month or so if the Chiefs and training camp is going to come back. Did that have any factor in what you guys did and what you put on paper and everything? Did that have any factor with the Chiefs and training camp?
No, this is for us. You know, the Chiefs, especially with the change of coaching staff with Coach Reed, they've made it pretty clear that they're going to stay on grass fields. And this is for Missouri Western, and whether they use some of it or not, that'll be in the future. But they've made it clear they're going to be on the grass fields, and then that's fine. Now, some of the amenities and how we get to Chiefs camp could change because we're taking out the track and doing some things, and we'll have to figure that out. But this is a Missouri Western project for everybody involved with that.
Did you have to reach a certain point in money, private donations, to match the bond part of it to make this all work? Is there a certain percentage or anything?
Not necessarily, but obviously the more you raise, the less you have to bond. the less the debt service is. That would always be the goal. But like I said, you know, we've got some great commitments so far. We hope people see the vision of this and other things that we're doing and will jump on board. But what we have now and what those people, and you know, a lot of times in a campaign, people pledge over 3 or 5 years. So that's what we're hoping over the next 5 years, and after 5 years, we have a call on this bond. How much do we have in the kitty that we can just try to pay it, as much of it off, if not all of it off, you know, as we can, so that it doesn't have to go out to 20 years. And I think the bond could be 20 years, Dr. Fessel, 20 years. So we'd like to have it done just like anybody's debt. You want to pay it off early, you know, so that's the goal there. There wasn't really a number, but you know, we'd like to get as much as we can. There was a number basically on the size of the project, really, not necessarily the number of what we needed to have up front.
There's a selfish question for us. How about the press area, the radio booth and everything?
Yeah, yours is going to be the smallest room.
Is there a bathroom for Bob?
There is a bathroom for Bob. No, the press level will be on that third level. It'll be higher than what you currently are now, because the stadium itself will be bigger. But I think, you know, for you that have never been up to the press level, and you know, you go up there and walk on the roof and then go up to the press level, you know, when we had a TV game, you would have home radio, visiting radio, and the TV play-by-plays talking at the same time, because there wasn't separate rooms and there wasn't separate divisions there. So obviously we have visiting coaches, home coaches, visiting radio, home radio, written press, print press. We have a flex box that we can have a TV game and have them in their own box. We have, with a new video board, you have to have a control room. And then we also have our control room with stats, PA, and timekeepers. So there's going to be enough space. There's going to be some hospitality stuff up there so you guys can eat your food, because I know the press, you know, like that food. And then also, yes, restrooms and an elevator. And an elevator.
How big is the new scoreboard? Is it going to be moved closer to the field, or is it still going to be that same?
You know, the scoreboard's probably the only thing that Jeff and I are still, it's the kind of the last piece. Because as Jeff has done our itemization of the cost of everything, that's kind of the piece we're finding out how much do we have for the scoreboard. I think it's going to be very nice. It's going to be a nice size scoreboard with new sound. We haven't decided on which side of the field, you know, whether it's going to be where the current scoreboard is, or if we're going to put it on the other side of the video board. There's some different ideas there. So that's probably the last piece. I mean, there's other pieces we've got to decide on, but that's probably the biggest piece that we have to kind of decide on. And I think hopefully Jeff, when he finishes his itemization, will have a better understanding of that within the next 30 days.
Semi-AA arms race per se, where
The national arms race. Yeah.
everybody's building a new stadium. Where does this put Missouri Western, in your opinion?
Well, you know, I've been at every stadium now, and I think it's going to be, for us, it's going to be a very nice stadium. It's almost, I think it's almost a 22,000 square foot structure, you know, and when we needed it. I think with this indoor, with the field, with the video board, I think it puts us up there in the top portion of the league, and it's going to be just a great experience for everybody.
This is something people have wanted for quite a while. A lot of expectations coming into this. Is that part of what takes so long? I've seen so many drawings and trying to just to get it right and please everyone.
Yeah, you probably still won't please everyone. You know, it's like I said, the people that use the track may not be happy, but I think what you are going to see in this stadium from the beginning, it touches everybody. A lot of times people just build a press box with suites, and it only touches the people that can ability to afford the suites. You know, this is seating. It's obviously we've seen the stands crack a little bit. That's replacing some of that concrete and fixing those and making it just clean and right. So I think everybody that comes in there is going to be touched by it. And when you add a video board, that just makes it even better. And the sound, you know, it's soccer, it's college football. It's got to be intense and right on top of each other. And I think that's what we've missed in our stadium in the past, that it was just so wide open. And I think everybody's going to be happy with it.